Okay.
Greetings, I'm Director of Arketer Labs, as far as anyone can prove. And welcome to the article page. I'm joined with silent partner, Sherman, who has better things to do, but is still supporting this somehow. And Aura Seraph, who also has better things to do, but they're here anyway. Greetings in chat to K. Shull, Bernie B, Snoopy SN100. Congratulations, by the way, on winning a membership gifted on SideQuest. And Exodus and Nerdy Rodent. I think I've covered everyone there. I hope you're all doing well. I'm okay, I guess. You know, can't complain. Just doing my thing and trying to revitalize it, reinvent myself, find my niche, and then wedge it until it's a larger niche. Quite possibly, I don't want to go this way, it's going to sound worse. And I think it was too bad as it was. Yes, that is correct, Nerdy Rodent. If I'm twerking, then something has gone horribly wrong and quite possibly I've been replaced, perhaps by a clone or something with absolutely no standards. Just doing that free.
Or you've been paid.
Paid sufficiently is a possibility, but again, context is quite clear. I would probably announce the paying thing, as I feel it would largely ameliorate the other prices I'm paying. Greetings, and good relevant time of day to you, Green Badger Outdoors, and BGC Veteran. By the way, BGC Veteran, am I saying that right? Did you imagine that in a different way? Can you not put that phonetically? I think we've been over this before. I hope it's BGC Veteran, because if it's BG Svitten or BG, I'm not going to keep that. BG. Well, okay, welcome to the stream, BG. You're BG now. It's the best I can do. Unless, of course, you're suggesting phonetically it's actually something like BG, in which case, that's not happening either. BGC, VETA. We'll go with that. Or just stick with BG. BG should be good. As you can tell, it's going to be a rather quiet call. I'm going to be
Man, you suck at this.
To feel compelled to fill all this as to better everyone. Okay. Glad to hear it, BG. Thank you again for the charming mug. Well, before we get to repurpose. Okay, I don't want to call this the skull of my enemy, because if this is made from actual skull, it's a really tiny skull, and I don't need accusations of child slaughter, if that's okay with you. This is symbolic skull of my enemies, I suppose. Although, why would I waste perfectly good gears, cogs, wires, and science on a skull of someone I hate anyway? Not that I hate that many people, but there are a large number of people I do detest. I'm not a saint. I don't forgive all things of all people. I'm just simply not that good of a person. Or bad of a person to say I do when I couldn't possibly and clearly do not. Any case, let's see, where should we go from here? Oh yes, before you all joined us, I want to note that this haunting vision was presented. Froben's fault, of course. And, well, we're going to play a bit of pillory, namely that we're all going to guess what the hell this person did. And furthermore, look, just looking at this face, you know, 3 different things have gone wrong. Genetics, parenting, personal decisions. And something about this face has compelled me to wonder what of which is responsible for their particular lot in life. Certainly, if the latter part, the personal responsibility, was intact, they could turn things around tomorrow. I'm just wondering how unfortunate they are via the other two personal factors. Oh, well, I'm very sorry to hear you, Naughty Rodent, but reminding you, this doesn't mean they're necessarily a terrible person and can't turn their lives around with self-awareness and maybe a haircut. Or, you know what, strictly speaking, I'm of opinion. Now, differences arise across the board. Some people like being mostly bald. In my case, if I had been so afflicted with my genetics where my hair mostly fell out, I would shave the rest off immediately. I just don't think this Kaiser's Laurel is a look I could ever pull off. But I could probably go Mr. Clean on people. Let's not dwell on that too much. Guesses in chat as to what this guy did. That is crime against humanity. Well, see, Naughty Rodent, you can technically fix the hair. Yeah, I'm afraid. Well, the good news, Green Badger Outdoors, is that that's not quite what they're busted for. The bad news is that it implies they're on that path. Let's, stop beating about this bush and look into it. Man accused of exposing himself at public pool. New York. A Queens man is accused of exposing himself at a public pool on Long Island. Police say the incident happened shortly after 5 p.m. Sunday at Forest City Park Pool in Washington. Authorities say 17-year-old lifeguard saw the 33-year-old Wilson Kenny rub his groin area and expose himself while seated on a park bench. After an investigation, he was arrested without incident. Kenny is charged with public lewdness. So, on top of everything else, this man's name is Kenny, which isn't really fair to other Kennys. But, yeah. To be fair, though, what you might have imagined this guy did, this isn't nearly as bad as that. It's mostly rude at this point. But, public pool, it's not really putting them in a good light, but then again, what is? I, for one, am grateful that they did not prove guilty of anything else. Oh, and an unexpected twist. Someone threw money at me. You suck. Donated $10 to support my efforts here. Most kindly, with the following message. I wish I had some fire biscuits. You know, some real big Hanglabangas. Hanglabangas. Well, I was going to guess from the You Suck I knew who this was, but the message leaves me completely baffled.
Really? Really? You're confused?
On the evidence of the giggling, I'm going to go ahead and lock in my final answer as this being the work of Laura Sarah. Thank you for your kind support. This does not approach the value of one of my kidneys, so just keep in mind, I'm not selling those cheap. Hangler
What?
Real big hangler. You know, in such dark times, even the mad cackling of a demonic entity can be weirdly chilling. Hanglabangas. I don't know what fire biscuits are. I don't know what hengla-bangers are. And I don't...
They're euphemisms for boobs.
Fire biscuits? Okay, I sort of get the hengla-bangers. If at any point someone wants to use the Streamlabs for more wholesome messages, the link is in the description. No expectations. You're paying me in attention. And that's what I remind myself of. Plus, you know, well, it is technically more valuable than money. You know, time and such. Greetings, Eric Pug! And anyone else who snuck into chat is just lurking there, silently, judging me. Don't worry, I'm judging you too. It's fair. I judge all the time, but I condemn most rarely. I try to. This is my true one real virtue signal. I hope it's not too much to ask. Greetings, Devil Pup. Glad you can make it. But let's move on. Face of Malawi reports that a man has won the lying down championship by lying down for 60 hours straight. If this were a figurative competition, he'd have much harder competition. In a competition where the goal is to do nothing but lie down for as long as possible, one man emerged victorious after spending 60 hours lying flat on the ground. In the village of Bresna, in Montenegro, they recently held the 12th annual edition of its Lying Down Championship, a unusual competition where the end goal is to spend as much time lying down as possible. It sounds easy enough, but as time passes by, your bones and muscles start to ache, your limbs go numb, and you just feel the need to get up and stretch. This year, the champion managed to lie down for about 60 hours. It wasn't difficult, believe me, I don't even warm up, said Zalgo Perjanovac. Zalgo, known as Nele, told reporters. Zalgo competed against 9 other people lying down on the ground in a local park. Everyone was allowed to bring things like phones and books to keep themselves occupied as they lay on the ground, but one by one they started getting up until only 2 people were left. Zalgo and... Zalgo from Zabjela and Vuk Kola from Dadlovograd. Okay, Montenegro is easy enough. Why do they have to mess up the rest of the names?
Best name ever.
Which one?
Danilovograd.
You want to move to Danny Lovegrad?
Look, my relationship with DeVito is my business, damn it.
Right you are. Say no more, please. At one point, the two competitors started joking about splitting the title of the champion, but Zalgo was determined to bring home the title of 12th lying down champion, and after about 60 hours, he remained the last one lying down. 60 hours sounds like a long time, but you should know that a few years back, a new rule was implemented which allows competitors to visit the toilet every 8 hours. That definitely makes things a lot easier, and was one of the key factors that allowed a woman named Dubravka Aksik, to set the world record by spending 4 days and 21 hours lying flat on her back. Before the toilet rule was adopted, the world record for lying down continuously was 52 hours. I suspect, look, the committed competitor is surely not afraid to go ahead and let it rip where they are. I'm guessing they just got tired of having to smell the people who are lying in pools of their own waste.
Clearly.
I mean,
they've never done this in a cancer ward.
You tend to get used to that smell. a few dozen bodies in a few hours, it doesn't bother you anymore.
Well, suffice to say, it appears that the event organizers were not as committed as the competitors were. The Lying Down Championship was reportedly created by a man named...
I wonder if you could insult someone long enough for them to say, I'm not going to take this lying down.
So I suppose you're proposing a hybrid competition where everyone lies on the ground and insults each other until there's only one person still lying down. So that way they're lying down meta lying down. The How Much Can You Take Lying Down Championship.
Well, let's see. We've known each other for like 4 or 5 years now. So, I mean, you can take it.
Yeah, but I'm a competitor, but now I'm just disturbed by the many ways that can be made even more meta, which could run into anti-sex work laws.
But are they going to take it lying down?
Well, I'm sure someone would. They might just have to go farther from home than Montenegro. The Lying Down Championship was reportedly created by a man named, try this again, Radoje Blagojevic, right? Okay,
I wonder if there's like a middle ground where you can be on your hands and knees. Orla, you know about this, right?
Sorry.
Well, when your experiences with Ark, was he on his hands and knees?
You're not supposed to kiss and tell.
Okay. Moving on. Greetings, Brain Shatter. Thank you for stopping by to drop a like. After all, if this hits 13 likes, this stream is a success, whether it is by any of the metrics or not. Rudy Road is happy to take it lying down if they're paid enough. Judgments, but no condemnation. Nerdy rodent. Sympathies on your terrible, terrible hair. That's got to really cut into your earnings. Have you considered a wig? Nope. Wait. This is dangerous territory. I'm trying to be supportive. It's just coming off as a bit backhanded. But you do what I normally do by leaving yourself open for it. Aggressively. Greetings, Assassin the Grey. You leave the show? Well, it's been a while, I think. Much appreciation for that. Assassin the Grey. Yeah. The super science, mind you. I am all about super science, not regular science, not the speed of science, super science. Which means I am not remotely authorized to give you any medical advice whatsoever. Do not take medical advice from me. Do not try to intuit medical advice from me. You're on your own.
If you're about all super science, why is it that you insist on filling your fire safety system with holy water?
Because it's just one more potentially effective precaution for largely uncharted paranormal threats.
See, you shouldn't see him when he gets to Super Science Form 4. Okay. It's not a pretty sight. His hair just gets out of control.
Further clarification, less super scientist, more super scientist director of super scientist, which that's I think is cool. I'm glad to hear that business is going well for you, Assassin of the Grey. Back to trying to say a name. Excuse me. Blagjevic created the competition to poke at the stereotype that Montenegrins are lazy, or it would seem to prove the point. For winning this year's edition, or competition, Zalgo takes home a cash prize of 350 euros, which apparently at present is $350. A lunch for two at a restaurant a weekend stay in the Montenegro ethnic village, and a rafting experience. But most importantly, he gets bragging rights for the rest of his life. Bizarrely enough, Montenegrin media recently reported that shortly after being declared the winner of this unusual competition, Zalga was taken into custody by police for allegedly physically attacking journalists and damaging the headquarters of a newspaper that called him, quote-unquote, the biggest swindler in all of Montenegro. Well, I suppose at the very least he proves he's not actually that lazy. I mean, to physically attack several journalists and physically damage the headquarters of a newspaper, he's got to have at least one good punch in him. I'm kind of wondering how he actually damaged the headquarters. Did he start a fire? Did he paint it in the blood of the journalists that were slandering him? Which I'm inclined to suspect here. How can he be the biggest swindler in all of Montenegro when he spends all of his time just lying on the ground? And how far does one get with 350 euros in Montenegro?
You may see him lying on the ground, but he's just lying in wait.
True. Maybe he's aware of his overwhelming physical power and is engaging in competitions like this just to better burn his time without destroying a newspaper headquarters. Peculiar. Any final thoughts on this one before I move on? Oh, correct, by the way, Super 100. No one can own the science. No one can travel at the speed of science. And if they are traveling at the speed of science, they're probably traveling really slow. Until at one point or another, they suddenly shoot past the speed of light, and then they're right back to going as slow as. Suffice to say, Pfizer was not traveling at the speed of science, and I will continually mock him for that. Superpower unable to get up. In the right context, that could be. Holy water for the undead, demons, and vampires. Yeah, see, look, that Sassy Gray is backing me up here. It was a perfectly reasonable precaution. And holy water still puts out fires. Mind you, there are better things than water to put out fires with. I mean, I could have put it with sand, a few foams that are quite effective. We're almost at 13 likes, by the way. That's tension raising.
I guess I should, start taking my shirt off.
So long as you leave the camera off, I don't care. Wrong order at Wendy's leads to Trent's still on, and that's good. Wrong order at Wendy's leads to shooting, Fisco, please say. I seem to recall there was this demand for de-escalation experts, but I don't think they're arriving in time. I think by the time you've got 3 people who are willing to open fire over wrong order at Wendy's, the de-escalation experts have already missed the mark. Well, I have to be careful with this one, I think. Frisco, Texas. A fight over an incorrect order at Wendy's, and in a gunfire, according to Frisco police. Oh, Texas. Which means that the guns were legal. Well, maybe. 3 people have been arrested in connection with the shooting, which, by the way, is not the problem, by the way. Legal guns good. See, if it was in Chicago, the same thing would happen, but the guns would have been illegal. Because just if you make guns legal, that doesn't mean that outlaws go, oh, damn, I have to stop using this gun I took. Why would they? But that's a non-sequitur. Around 8 p.m. on Wednesday, August 17th, police responded to the shooting call at Wendy's on El Dorado Parkway. According to officers, a customer in the drive-thru was unhappy with the order, then entered the store and began arguing with the workers. Police say the customer went to his vehicle and grabbed a gun, shooting at the front of the building before driving off. No one was in the shooting. So, what is he? When someone does something as stupid as this, I kind of wonder if, on some level, they expect they're actually going to kill the restaurant itself. Well, I mean, yay!
I'm jiggling.
Orla donated 5 bucks to support my efforts here, and pokes you. Which is a meta reminder that I will not explain.
Let me just, It's a bit of a spoiler, but you know what?
What? It is!
I want to move you!
That was supposed to be held towards the end of the show for promotional purposes, to get, you know, let people know what's coming, to get them excited from it.
Fine.
We're not quite halfway through yet.
Fine. We'll leave it to this one. Are you happy? Are you excited with this?
Orla has donated another $1 to support my efforts here with the following message. Licks your face.
Imagine the banana shaking.
I hope you're all enjoying the stream. I know I am. I don't know if I was in Chicago about that. See, look, I was right about something.
Well, that's a first.
No, it's not. And I'd like to be wrong about a lot more things, thank you very much. I just haven't proven thus yet. Okay. You know, we're just going to move on from this. I understand there's a lot of complaints about all the crime that's being reported along. Thank you. It's basically the unofficial secondary Arketer Appreciation stream, but what's wrong with black socks anyway? I proved I had pants on and feet.
The face there just looks like you're so constipated. Like someone like caught you cheating on your wife on the toilet.
Well, I'll have you note that while that is embarrassing in many ways, and we are at 14 likes, that means this stream has been a success. Thank you. Yeah, that's much better. And, you know, you meant that to troll me, but strictly speaking, I think I've lost quite a bit of weight on my face since that. Or I grew enough hair to cover it. Second chin. One of those two things.
Well, I mean, there's one way to verify.
No!
Okay, fine. There's more than one way to verify. And just lean back a little bit and look down.
Orla has donated another $1 to compel me to read the following message. Because yes, I do feel very much compelled to read them. Mind you, if I feel you're trying to destroy me with them, I do reserve certain self-defensive rights. But this one fits. I have no arguments. Orla donated $1 to compel me to say, I stole your gas station boner pills. And you're never getting them back. They're not healthy, you know.
That's okay. I'll make sure you finish them.
To quote that article, An erection like a crowbar.
Does that mean that it was partially bent sharply at the end?
Yes, and it was used in Half-Life.
A dick to make Gordon Freeman jealous. It's not worth it. Choose life, everyone. Choose life.
Or at least half of one.
Don't cook chicken NyQuil, FDA warns after TikTok challenge. Because the FDA is apparently wanting to stress they don't have anything better to do. And their drug overlords allowed them to say this much.
It is just evident that, Dennis Leary was right about everything.
Probably, yes. Quite frankly, if anyone actually cooks their chicken in NyQuil because of a TikTok challenge, then that's just natural selection taking place. But I get huge Tide Pod challenge vibes from this, which, if you don't recall, was in fact a colossal hoax. As in, almost no one died from ingesting Tide Pods, and those who did were primarily senior citizens who were senile enough to confuse it for candy, which means that they've only really primarily posed a threat to the President of the United States.
So now I'm just thinking about giving him a blueberry orange sherbet every day until he, eats a Tide Pod. We could take bets on how long that would take.
His handlers will never let you close enough to test that. But I guess not really long myself. If we had a betting pool, I'm not. Let's say you did have that access. I'm not giving that more than a week. September 21st, readers. Cooking chicken in cold medicine NyQuil is not only silly and appetizing, but can also be very unsafe, says serious people who assume that you need to hear this. Following the Sleepy Chicken TikTok challenge, a number of videos challenge people to cook chicken NyQuil, which contains acetaminophen, dextromethorphan, and doxylamine, or other similar over-the-counter medications according to the FDA. Orla donated $1 to have me say, if I had $1 for every time Orla made me say something weird. Oh wait, I do. This is a very meta joke because I'm pretty sure they've compelled me to say a lot of even weirder things entirely for free.
I've made you do a whole bunch of... I've made you do a whole bunch of things entirely for free.
Strictly speaking. How normal is it to say, yes, I fill my fire sprinkler system with holy water?
Let's see, I've had you say, I Botoxed my balls to make them look nicer. I should see if I can find that quote again.
Remember when I got him to do that boob speech of Vegeta's?
Yeah, well, it's a copy pasta, but yes.
Yeah.
I still need to, get a good version of that. That doesn't have someone giggling over it or, someone else trying to jiggle their boobs with a metallic gauntlet. Robot arm.
Oh
shit, the fourth wall is breaking.
Strictly speaking, it's safer than ever these days. High points. Again, you have to look at the bright side of life. Boiling medicine can make it much more concentrated and change its properties in other ways, FDA said in a notice dated September 15th. Even if you don't eat the chicken, inhaling medication's vapors while cooking could cause high levels of drugs into your body, and it could also hurt your lungs. This is not the first time the FDA has warned against social media challenges that use non-prescription medicine. I resent this because at this point I'm so incredibly annoyed with the hypothetical authorities that now I want to eat NyQuil chicken out of sheer spite. I know it's not a good idea, I'm not going to do it, And that's why I resent the contrarian urge to do so, because fuck you, Dad.
What? What about me?
In any case.
Is this like your version of help me, step bro?
No. No. No.
I'm not helping you if you get stuck in the washing machine. I'm setting it to spin cycle.
You know what? I prefer that. Strictly speaking, if I get stuck in the washing machine, I probably deserve to have a few turns around the drum. In September 2020, a similar warning was issued by the FDA after reports of teenagers getting admitted to emergency rooms or dying after participating in the Benadryl Challenge on that short video app. I don't even want to know what the Benadryl Challenge is, and I don't blame the kids. I blame the adults who weren't parents of quality. Sounds like something he would do. Wichita man arrested for public intoxication. Orla donated $2 to support my efforts here with the following message that I'm compelled to read. Please, save me! She's holding me captive in the basement!
I'm sure I'm the only
There's
one
a
who finds
really
this funny.
bad joke I could make right now. There is a really bad joke I could make right now.
What
Oh,
could
Lord.
possibly be stopping me?
I'll throw it in chat.
I'll just carry on with this in the meanwhile. Wichita, Kansas. It's so bizarre, said Trooper Eric Foster with the Oklahoma Highway Patrol. That's something you don't normally hear from a first responder, but what happened Monday morning even had those who pretty much seen it all scratching their heads. The person that called said there appears to be a man in the back of his truck, said Foster. It all started in Wichita when investigators say 30-year-old Dustin Slocum hopped on the back of a rail of a semi-truck as it was leaving the shipping yard. He held on for 130 miles, nearly 2 hours, ended up in Guthrie, Oklahoma, around 2:30 in the morning.
That's just dedication.
When I heard somebody took a crazy ride, I'm thinking, yeah, that's him. That's the kind of stuff he would do, said Shane King. King has known Slocum for nearly a decade and is his former landlord. He says he was nothing but trouble's tenant. Kansas Department of Corrections records also shows that Slocum served time for aggravated battery. In this case, police arrested Slocum for public intoxication and joyriding, both misdemeanor charges which he pleaded not guilty. When troopers asked him why he was on the truck, he said he was, quote-unquote, hoping to find his wife. King says no matter what the reason is, it's sad to see people like this. He's got no support. Nobody. I wish they would make mental health more available, said King. Well, that's a nice way to do it. And now I'm going to make a terrible mistake by finding out what the joke is that Truman.
Yeah, that's a bad joke. It's funny, but no one else would get it.
Okay, so that's why it's a bad joke. And greetings in chat to memes of destruction. I have to say, strictly speaking, if you've got the right equipment, isn't hopping on the back of a semi if you know where it's going a pretty cheap way to travel? I mean, once you've attached yourself to the handles, the driver's never going to notice until they get to the destination or the next pit stop. Mind you, you should probably get like a harness, I would imagine, like a hiker's harness that you can really just clasp on there so you can take a nap. And how did they bust him for intoxication when he'd already been on a trailer for 120 miles? I think it sobered up after by the time the police caught up to him. Was he drinking while hanging off the back of a semi? Curious.
Sounds like a fun day.
I will say this much. I think his hair is actually pretty awesome.
Well, you know, it's all like wind-geisted.
Yeah, it's all over the place. Nothing has come from my ass on my streams. Thank you very much. Being caught coughing is quite bad enough. Thank you. Green Township, Ohio. A man was arrested and is accused of following the victim to a car and sexually assaulting her in a Dollar General parking lot on Harrison Avenue in Green Township Thursday, according to Hamilton County records. Court documents say the victim told police that she was leaving the store. She held the door for the man behind her. The man, 34-year-old Mark Newberry, then followed her to her car and then asked about her marital status. She told Newberry she was married, and then without consent, Newberry kissed her on the neck, grabbed her breast, smacked her buttocks while he was standing behind her, court documents read. Police say the victim was able to get in her car and drive away. Court documents say that when interviewed by police, Newberry denied touching the victim. Documents say that Darnell General has footage of the event. Whoopsie doodles. When Newberry was confronted with the store's video footage, he did not comment and requested a lawyer, which is probably the first smart thing he did in this situation. Also, do they normally take prison photos shirtless, or did you just want to rip it off to complete the tough guy look? Or, I don't know, was this taken from his Facebook? You know, I think we're just going to move past this one. Less whimsical funny, unless you just really find death hilarious. Man falls, dies after attempting to do a handstand on Myrtle Beach Hotel balcony. And it is a bit funny because this is self-selection. I mean, this is a Darwin Award right here when you learn the balcony was on the 15th floor.
All I'm hearing is free lunch.
It's the circle of life. Look, the meat's just going to get a waste at this point. I have no real ethical argument. She didn't push him off the balcony as far as we're aware. It's entirely self-inflicted. And there's no reason they need to have an open casket, really. Is there? Besides, after falling from the 15th floor, I'm not sure they would want it anyway. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Environment.
A man died of trying to do a handstand on a hotel balcony during Hurricane Ian last week. According to an official. Horry County. There's no W there, so it's perfectly fine. Horry County Deputy Coroner Tamara Willard said 34-year-old Markel Hope, at 34 he might have had children, thus disqualifying him from Darwin Award, fell from the 15th floor balcony of the Patricia Grand Hotel while attempting to maneuver at around 3:30 p.m. on September 30th. Hope of Akron, Ohio, died at the scene due to his injuries, according to Willard. Not even a Florida man. But with a name like Hope, and how he died, that's weirdly hard to believe. And yet, there's no reason to. WBF News, reach out to the Middle Police Department for more information. Stay with WBF for news updates, but we're all going to put this out online as soon as possible. Instead, we'll go to a Vice article, grudgingly, because Vice is dumb. But not necessarily as dumb as what we thought. Here. From Vice World News, this politician wants transgender to be defined as people who pee with one hole. But you might note that, by common understandings of biology, would mean all of us. So, I guess we're all super equal now. Or it would be in Pakistan. Pakistan passed progressive law in 2018 that gives transgender communities constitutional rights. Now some senators and clerics want to change it. Pakistan's progressive transgender laws are currently under attack, as legislators and clerics oppose the country's Transgender Persons Protection of Rights Act 4 years after it was passed. One senator wants to change how the measure defines transgender persons. Fauza Arshad, a senator from Pakistan, Tehreek-e-Insaf, says transgender people should be defined as those who keep one hole for urination. If anyone in chat happens to pee out of 2 holes, and I'm pretty sure chilly night doesn't count, nor does aggressive stomach bugs. I've been there, and it's basically that, but not technically. You just happen to, I want to, perhaps someone can explain to me how this hypothetically excludes anyone. Arshad's bill reflects a trend of escalating dissent and misinformation campaigns against the country's transgender laws in an effort to bring it in line with their understanding of Islamic teachings on gender and sex. While Arshad's artfully worded proposal has bemused many, making some wonder if she knows the difference between a vagina and urethra, there is also a larger concern of the direction this movement is taking. Well, Pakistan and she. So this is like a meta troll where do people collect urethras? I want to say no, Assassin the Grey, but having grown up with the internet and been violently disillusioned as to many terrible things that members of humanity will do, I'm not feeling confident enough to say that no one does. At least not ones they use that way. As Orla stresses could be occurring.
Like you don't keep specimen jars.
But I don't pee through them. Or in them. I use the toilet.
I mean,
like a civilized
if
human
you
being.
collect them and you peed in the jar where they are kept, that would be kind of a fetish, wouldn't it?
Speak for yourself, I'm not really into that particular biology study anyway. I have, yes, owned specimen jars and specimens, but it's not really a focus. I'm more on the tech side of things, really. And you don't need second-hand urethras to open a pore or create a semi-autonomous anything. And where you might, you don't need an actual urethra. You can just use some like fishing tubing, like for an aquarium. Does the job perfectly. Look, someone modified one of those Boston Dynamics big dog robots to piss beer into a cup. They know who they are, and that was part of it. So I suppose he did collect a de facto urethra and put it to use, although he didn't pee through it, although he did use it for beer, and it's close enough. Last week, Pakistan's parliament saw an uproar after one senator, during debate over the law, called transgender persons disgusting. Quote unquote, How's Arshad's proposal reflects how much these politicians don't know about our communities. Who are they to talk about our rights? Shahzadi Rai, a prominent transgender rights activist who is the case manager at Gender Interactive Alliance. That sounds like a game company. told Vice World News. They're trying to snatch a constitutional empowerment even after this law was created with everyone's agreements. Gender Interactive Alliance. I assume this is a matter of translation. Remember, you never buy, only rent it. Well, the way I find most beers taste, I find that plausible. But I'm not a beer man, let's be honest. I mind you, if you do happen to like beer, I don't begrudge you. I wish you every enjoyment of it. In fact, the more beer you drink, the less I will ever be exposed to. Please, indulge as much as you. Where are we? Moving past this. Domino's superfan gets a logo tattooed on thigh in hope of free pizza.
I guess he thought it was the cheese knees.
I find it odd that someone who looks like this could possibly want to be exposed to that much Domino's. Some people like Domino's, and at one time I did too, and I paid for it. I paid price. But then there are Domino's superfans like Zach Tucker. Holy crap, the name just goes with the hair, doesn't it? You could look at this guy's face in a line and go, oh yeah, that's Zach Tucker, even if you've never heard his name before. I could have guessed this. I should have tried. Who can go the extra mile and showcase their love for the fast food giant. Zach Tucker decided to get the pizza chain's logo tattooed on his thigh to signify his love for Domino's. But it hasn't been enough to bag him a free pizza. And he's furthermore paid much more in tattoo fees than the pizza would have cost. I'm pretty sure. The 26-year-old from South Yorkshire, UK. Oh, okay. Well, this is a surprising. Look, if I were to blow up this picture and tell you these people were from Jersey Shore, would you feel bold enough to contradict me? It's a bit of a rhetorical. I don't expect anyone to answer this. I'm just saying that I wouldn't feel that bold. You could have told me this was a Jersey Shore couple, and I would have gone, okay. They spent £87 on the inking while he was on holiday with his sister and his girlfriend in Majorca, Spain. He now has a lasting souvenir on his thigh. Okay, is this his sister or his girlfriend? I'm a bit concerned. Zach, who works as a decorator, says he ordered Domino's up to 10 times each month. He says he's a huge fan of the pizza restaurant chain, quite clearly. I was umming and ahhing about what to get done, and my girlfriend said, get something with your pizza. You love pizza. You live off of pizza. You spend thousands on Domino's. He told Kennedy Newsweek. I see why he didn't get free pizzas out of this. Doesn't even count as advertisement, strictly speaking. I mean, shorts will surely cover that. If he got on his kneecap, maybe, and maybe taken up kickboxing, Domino's might have been much more inclined to make the sponsorship a reality. Or they would have sued him. It's kind of hard to say in today's media. There are a lot of companies apparently these days who really don't like random YouTubers displaying their products because, well, free advertising isn't as tasty as obnoxious control. Let's go to a happier topic. We have don't have much time remaining, but we can at least fit in this one. Just like he did. Man charged with smuggling pythons in his pants at U.S. border. No? I assume they're muted so they can't get it. Cannot tell someone's head is the way Touche, Assassin the Grey. Touche. I did forget where I was. I was used to a different set before I moved back to this one. My bad. I did a wrong. A New York City man has been charged with smuggling 3 Burmese pythons in his pants at a U.
I didn't realise the sex demons had escaped again. Sorry.
It'd be a bit fascinating, strictly speaking, if we could get some sort of news on what he planned to do with 3 Burmese pythons in his pants. A New York City man has been charged with smuggling 3 Burmese pythons in his pants at a U.S.-Canadian border crossing. Calvin Bautista, 36, is accused of bringing the hidden snakes on a bus that crossed into northern New York on July 15, 2018. Importation of Burmese pythons is regulated by an international treaty and by federal regulations listing them as injurious to human beings. You know, Burmese pythons can get quite large, so to be fair, they're not necessarily wrong, but strictly speaking, at their largest size, they're primarily a threat to small dogs, cats, and maybe particularly unloved toddlers. Also quite threatening to Tiger King wannabes who are inclined to try to wear them as boas until they start behaving like boas. Bautista of Queens was arraigned Tuesday in Albany on the federal smuggling charge and released pending trial, according to news release from the office of U.S. Attorney Carla B. Friedman. An email scene comment was sent to Bautista's lawyer. The charge carries the potential for a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison and a fine as high as $250,000, according to federal prosecutors. The Burmese python, one of the world's largest snakes, or can become one of the world's largest snakes, is considered a vulnerable species in its native Asia and is invasive in Florida, where it threatens native animals. Like Floridians. And makes it kind of baffling all the more so that there's a New York City man who was smuggling Burmese pythons in his pants. Look, I suspect for a while now that Florida man is an artifice. Arla has just generously donated $2 to compel me to say, what do cannibals eat with cheese? Pickled organs! How Fremen understands the Brave Call better. This is where you should probably click that laugh track button. There you go. Well done. Well done. I should probably... We're up to 15 thumbs up. Thank you all very much for letting me know that you support me, if not monetarily. And for those who are supporting me monetarily, I hope you're enjoying yourself. Especially... It's basically you, Orla. Do you feel you're getting your value?
Why, yes.
Good.
But I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who's thought that this is funny.
You know, somehow I doubt that, because they're truly that bored, they would have ditched this stand by now. Well, we are 1 minute from shutting down. I have no plans of going over, and there's no SCP to compel the reading of, so I suppose we're down to promotion, which means that Froben, if you're paying attention, now's the time to let everyone know that, yes, in the not-too-distant future, I will be doing a show with Froben. Don't ask how this came about. I have no backstory to explain it, but it will be the Froben Arketer Artism stream, and,
the Friendship Artism stream.
As you can see, I didn't create this.
Yeah, it's actually good.
Ostensibly, I will be creating things on it, though, as at least initially it should revolve like around an art exchange and things. No, not autism stream. Artism. Artism. Until next time, so long as progress continues, success is inevitable, barring World War III. Artism. And we're out.